we're kind of at the teeter-totter place of the July month, as we all know what I intend to do going into the mid-summer months of August. So yeah. 15. Nope, not that one. We're going to go to the 15. So I posted a couple of setups here because nothing has really changed overall in the market the past week. Is that my signals channel is kind of light right now. There's not really much to look at for macro high quality pivots. And that's okay because trading is not all about slinging, it's about waiting. What's up, AR? June T. Good morning, good morning. So NASDAQ right now just filled the main liquidity on the chart here, which is about 940, 950. Under that, we have 862. On ES, we have 62.92 just filled. After that is 62.70. But not a lot going on here. It's been a very, very tight pre-market action on the S&P and NASDAQ. Let's see. Copper futures just popped a new high and is rocketing into multi-decade highs. Let me turn this down. Hold on a second. There we go. $62.95 still going here. I'm still going to maintain the same thesis here. I think CPI will come in with a surprise beat. CPI is tomorrow morning. I think all of this stuff, all the metrics are pointing to some lower cost here, and I think it'll be a surprise beat, and it will lead to probably a bullish move. That's what I'll be looking for. In terms of VPA or anything else, there's not really much to consider. We are range bound. We are putting in a very clear, accurate range here. We haven't had any major volume spikes. We've had a little bit of increased volume on Monday the 7th and Monday and Wednesday the 9th into higher prices, but nothing that's incredibly high to show us any kind of selling climax. So I'm just maintaining the thesis. I do think in the next week or so we'll kick off a correction move, but I have to wait for the signs. I have to wait for the signs. What's up, Davo? Anthony Jr., good morning, good morning. NASDAQ is into this area. We've got a little liquidity down into 62.84 right here after a beautiful sweeping top wick on NASDAQ. ES looking like here they're putting on pretty much the same price action as NASDAQ. We're only 3 minutes into the market here. We have a very odd looking economic calendar today. There's nothing on it. Literally. It almost looks like they forgot to post any kind of news today because there's nothing. What's up, Mitch? Good morning. $62.94, not a lot of movement. My brakes went on me yesterday. I was driving, so I need to yeah, that's probably something you need to get taken care of. That's like placing 15 NASDAQs with no stop. No bueno. What's up, T-Ray? Good morning. Dan, how you doing, buddy? Old Danny Gabagoo over here. There's no real data to wait for today because we don't have any. Let's see. We have a 3-month auction at 11:30 and a 6-month auction at 11:30, and that is it. That is it. Still some top wicks here. The skew right now is down to 62.85 on the S&P. So we have liquidity low. We're pulling this thing. And most likely that's where we'll go. Coming on down. Beautiful. Beautiful. Top wick sweeping move lower. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let's see how they fill things. I'll be starting my journey to get 5 additional accounts on the TPT this week. I'm going to be looking for daily payouts on multiple accounts and see how that goes. I'll let you keep you filled in on how things roll with that. What's the play this week? We'll wait or find a local top. Yep, I think in the next week, week and a half, we will see the next top roll over. I think this is where we're going to start to build a temporary top. Now remember, distribution kicks off with a selling climb. Well, distribution is highlighted by a selling climax, which a selling climax requires a very strong bullish move. So I think that's what's most likely going to happen. They're going to catch everyone off guard with a little CPI bull, and then that's where we're going to start the OPEX expiration kind of top wick to sell all of this high premium. Because what's happened since the last OPEX? It was almost on the money the day of OPEX that kicked off the bull move, and it's been straight up ever since for the past month. So it's caused call premiums to go sky high. It's called put premiums to go into the floor, and that's a perfect opportunity to start capturing on some of that premium, the deltas. $62.92 up to $6,300. No plays yet. Right here. Let's go take a look at NASDAQ. Gold is taking a little bit of a dive right before pre-market here. Now they have since bought up a little bit of it. But for me, again, I want to wait for high quality pivots. I want to put on some beautiful plays because right now I'm batting 1,000 on gold. Haven't missed on gold yet. And I need to be careful so I maintain that win rate. It's only because I'm choosing high quality pivots on gold itself. So keep an eye on there. I'm going to be watching, keeping a close eye on that going forward in the coming days. Silver put in a new high and then small retraction there. But the biggest thing here is that PL is still respecting our sell range beautifully well. Every single time we tap into this range, multiple sweeping top wicks. And if they get under this line and start to close, that's going to be an actionable short position. I'll go into my personal account, not props, take the PL trade and hold it for as long as I possibly can. Using trailing stops, of course. See if I can catch me a banger, like our girl Tori trades. Which apparently, Patrick Whalen has a beef with her now. I wonder how long it's going to take for him to get in a beef with me. Apparently he beefs with everyone. Love it. Love it. RTY is still bouncing. My supplier sent me some inventory in the box with 70 pounds if the post office wouldn't deliver it because it's too heavy. Get stronger, give me some tax dollars if I have to go to the post office to pick up my packages. Oh yeah. Too heavy. Sounds like your post office guy needs to take some juice. The S&P has officially filled the imbalance from settlement close on Sunday. NASDAQ obviously has done so as well. It would be great if you could define some high quality pivots in the building a system channel. I could do that, yeah. Patrick Whalen cage match. Let's do it. Let's do it. The guy is a fantastic marketer. Fantastic marketer. I am exhausted, man, not gonna lie. Tired. NASDAQ is still top wicking. Watch this move down and we'll take down to about 900. Thank you. No trades for me yet. Very just choppy back and forth. Same old crap. So overall, I mean, obviously this is just a continuation to last week. Go back and look. Here, let's go to the 60-minute chart. Look at the 60-minute chart on NASDAQ. Nothing's changed. We are, for for all intents and purposes, the same exact price we were last Monday at this time. So there's nothing going on. Very back and forth price action. My eyes are glued down here, which you should already know if you've been following me for any extended period of time. I am watching down here into this block of volume. When I see a spike in volume, I need to figure out, all right, well, what's they trying to do? What are they trying to do? Then I'll go up to the price action. Where does that volume come in at? Where the volume hits is the most important. All right. I do that every week. Let's see, change stream. Here we go. All right, so here's my chart. Where this volume hits is more important than the volume itself, because that'll help you determine, is this an anomaly or is this a verified move? So if the price action climbs up into this block, maybe even a little higher, does a little liquidity sweep higher, and we have an aggressive spike in volume, that to me tells you that we have now hit supply, especially if it closes with an aggressive top wick back down, which is how the selling climaxes go. We have a big thrust higher, an aggressive top wick back down with a spike in volume. When those three things happen, not only will it check our boxes for the three criteria, but it'll tell us that we have a block of supply right here. Especially if it closes without buying back up, we will now have a selling climax, which will verify the fact that we are in distribution and we are in need for a small pullback, a small correction to gain inventory lower. So that's what I'll be looking for. If you're looking for a range break, volume should be your number one metric when we get to that area. A lack of volume tells me just as much as a preponderance of volume. If we come up to this area, if things go bullish and come up to this area and we go through it and close with no top wick and there's zero volume down here, that tells you there is no supply and now it's time to go higher. And you keep on being bullish until you have a high volume influx. Use volume to your benefit. Volume is confidence. Play of the week is sitting on your hands the first 15 minutes. Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. Stay away from the 15 minutes, dude. That one tip alone will keep you from blowing accounts and taking stupid losses. Yeah, appreciate that, Kennedy. It's beautiful stuff. What Kennedy is doing, and McGurky, or Magabaguli, sorry, that's the intent of this server, in my opinion. I want people posting and helping, whether they're right or wrong. I want people setting the trades up and kind of describe them so we can, like-minded individuals share ideas. A community. Love it. All right, sweeping top wick on NASDAQ all the way back over to grab this liquidity on ES and NASDAQ. Back down. Look at that. Smoke-a-ronies, baby. Smoke-a-ronies. Smoke them if you got them. Smoke them if you got them. Look at that. Look at that candle. Booyah. Holy smokes. What a freaking move that was. What a freaking move that was. All right, so with this move lower, we have a couple of things to consider. We have the overnight low, which we've already bounced off of twice. So the 805 area on NASDAQ, keep an eye on it. That's your 805 context. That's the twice pivot. So we broke down on settlement open, bottom wicked off of it, retested it at European open, London open, bounced right off of it to the tick. And it appears we're going to have a quick test of it here out of the gate. That'll also set me up. I've got about a minute and 15 seconds before I'm eligible for my first trade. Let's go take a look at the S&P. S&P, once again, as it was last week, is holding up a lot better than the NASDAQ. Hasn't even touched the little pivot there from 7 o'clock in the morning. But we'll see that too. This is all my trading is. Waiting for pivots. Waiting for pivots. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. What does it mean to fill the imbalance? Where do you find that? So imbalances are created when the price action goes from consolidation to breakout. When the price action consolidates and then moves in one direction in a very strong manner, it creates an imbalance of orders. The market cannot trend or gap without a very major imbalance. You can't have balanced sellers and balanced buyers in trend. It just can't happen. There has to be a one-sided trade. And when that happens, it creates an imbalance. In this case, right here at 62.94, right here. So from here, we gap lower, and now the entire evening was spent buying back up to fill right on that imbalance. And once the imbalance was checked, and we meet the sellers that were already resting there, the sellers re-engage, and now we top wick back over. It's all about figuring out where the buyers are going to hit, where the sellers are going to hit, and thinking through conceptually, with a little bit of critical thinking, what the market's going to do. I post my trades and theory behind it, welcoming any feedback. Anything I missed or could have done better, I'm always open to learn in order to build a solid system. Love it. Beautiful stuff, Kennedy. Beautiful stuff. Still going down, NASDAQ. All the way down, baby. All the way down. Here's the retest area. I've noticed a lot of your screenshots are on the phone. Do you trade from your phone? There you go. Top wick back over right here. So this is the top wick on the ES and NASDAQ that will really determine the rest of the move until the top of the hour. Now remember, again, we do not have any news at the top of the hour, at least any known news. So we could play a lot of structured, beautiful moves right here. See what's going on right there. Here's a retest of the top wick. What's Tesla doing here? Tesla came right back inside the sell range, and then of course top wick back over as it did last time. Man, Tesla's a mover. I love it. I love it. I'm starting to see a lot of top ticks on the names here. Man, Apple got wrecked today. Why is Apple getting wrecked? Nvidia's getting wrecked. Nvidia is about to come down into 161.5 support. Is PL's getting wrecked? Yeah, they are. RTY bounced right before my zone. I was looking for this weekly pivot right here. Would have been beautiful long on RTY. I was hoping we get down there. But no dice. Not yet. I'm Carlos Hathcock this week, baby. Carlos Hathcock. Hopefully in July and August I'll become a machine gunner. Just signed on RTY and YM leading. Yep. So we have RTY very bullish. We have... Where'd my YM go? There we go. YM very bullish. So just like last week, leading the cause. If that's the case, maybe we can get a little overnight low touch here, bottom wick, and then go higher. That would be beautiful. I still remain in a buy the dip territory until, at least on a macro thesis, until otherwise noted. Regardless of what my gut feeling is for this week, that's what I'm still maintaining until I have a macro selling climax. Oh, man. NASDAQ 22.9. CPIs tomorrow, what do you think? Who thinks it goes higher? Who thinks it goes lower? No one notices your sadness until it turns into anger, and then you're the problem. Interesting. That's very deep. Very deep. I'm like the new Building a System channel. Where are we able to share ideas? Well, my intent was for me to just kind of build my thought processes in there, only me into how to build a system. However, if y'all want to input it there as well, go for it. However, I will say, I will moderate it pretty aggressively because I can't allow crap in there. I have to allow, I mean, obviously this is my community. I can only allow stuff that I think will actually build a system and make people profitable and helpful. So don't be offended if I delete something out of there if I leave it open. So yeah, but 100%. It doesn't necessarily have to be just technical setups too. How do you build a system? And building a system is multiple different things. Emotional driven rules, technical driven rules, risk management driven rules. Technical setups, don't short lows, for example, is a great one. I think if you get in the habit of taking off the concept of trying to play breakdowns at the lows, instead buy the dip, especially in this environment where the market's buying every dip, that'll help you. I mean, how many people try to see red action into a support and think, oh, here we go, and now try to short it, and then the second they hit the execute button, the market bounces and you get smoked in about 38 seconds. So stuff like that. Try to turn your brain into opportunity instead of hoping for continuation, which means buy the dip on a macro buy the dip environment into major supports. NASDAQ right on back up, 62.95. Oh, man. Has anyone tried the 150 accounts on TPT, TakeProfitTrader? I've only done 75s, but I'm considering doing TP or 150s. If I could pass 550s, I could pretty much guarantee that I'll pull out a good amount of money. With my risk mitigation, I'll never come close to that drawdown. But it's hard to pass. You know that the risk reward there is very high, or I guess very low. 9,000 versus what is it, 4,500? I think it's the same as Top Step. Evening trades are on the desktop. All my regular hour trades are early morning on my phone. I do analysis on Sundays and evenings. I never ever scalp on my phone. See, that's the key there. That's the key. It's impossible to scalp on your phone profitably, but doing anything other than scalp and macro levels, yeah, I mean it's perfectly doable. Perfectly doable. 100%. 75 for you, Matt. Nice. Yeah, 75 is what I have now. That is the kind of like middle of the road. That's a great balance. Lost another account today. It was completely my fault. My monthly subscription reached Friday, so I tried to full port to get the account passed. Pretty disappointed, but this is how the goes, I suppose. Well, I understand the motivation for that. It still sucks though. Yeah. Let's get to it though. Let's get to it. I think I'll be able to get a three to up to 5 free accounts this month. I'm waiting to hear back from them on an email from TakeProfitTrader. Once I do, I will figure out a method on which to give those to you. It could be a random drawing. It could be a participation thing. Yeah, but we'll see. 6,300 is the main liquid here on Bookmap. Goal is going for a Ram 2500 Cummings with a summer trip to Italy with my wife and two. So you're gonna drive a Ram 2500 Cummins in Italy, or is that just two different separate goals? That'd be pretty funny to drive a 2500 through late Italy when they all drive like little smart cars and scooters. Best documented trade of the day and make him earn it. Hey, that's a great idea. It's a fantastic idea, actually. Can I look at OSCR? Yep. Oscar Health. This guy in his small caps. I love it. Let's see. High volume sell. into support of 1360. We have high volume coming in here. Well, obviously, I don't like playing these small names, but I mean, for some reason, they've got an incredibly high amount of volume. 1350 is the overall support. One more little trip down here, and we're going to test that, especially with this high volume there. But as long as they hold this area, of course, I would test this area with this structural support with that volume. If they hold this area, maybe a little play the dip. If they take that out, just play the 11.5 move down into this area. But 3 tests with a high volume sell, if I had to gamble on this, I'd probably say they're going to break it. Given the fact that they've already bounced once, they bounced twice, high volume sell right into it. If they attack this area, I would not feel I would be confident shorting down to an 11.5 or so, and then buy the dip, based on what I'm seeing here. My favorite trade, the overnight open close. Been focused on waiting till the overnight hits and play the bounces. Beautiful. That's what I was waiting for myself on NASDAQ, but they never got down to it. Oh, you're talking about the open close, not the low. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I have a confession. I got Bookmap subscription in November. I still haven't used it out of ignorance. What's the best way to learn it? I have a how to use Bookmap video. You can go on my channel and look at it. Just search Bookmap. Or, of course, you can ask questions here. I'll be happy to help you out as much as I can. Point you in the right direction of my neck of the woods. There's a lot more news hitting the tape about the Japanese economy. That seems to be an every year thing in the summertime, but the yields are exploding again, which is very interesting. Which I'm sure makes Michael Gadd a little happy because his whole thesis is the carry trade. The whole Japanese economy is going to tank us because of the repatriation of the money of their funds. Interesting. So, according to this tweet, that large institutional investors are reaching a max net short position on RTY that mimics the positioning seen before the 2022 bear market. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Have you got any videos of identifying support and resistances? I've done a lot of it. Yeah, I do. Let me find one for you. So this is one here. How to identify pivots, same thing. There's a, oh, come on now, load for me. There we go. Here's another one too. All right. NASDAQ's top looking back over here after fill the imbalance. Platinum is still going lower here. Love it. With high volume too. RTY, massive top look on the RTY. So keep an eye again. RTYYM. What's the hero saying right now? We have 530 million of puts, 4 million in calls. So aggressively skewed into the put side of things here. Oil still getting creamed. They just took out their overnight low. Downtrend, baby. Downtrend. I'll check out your video first before we start firing off. Okay, that'll work. Interesting. So take a look at this. Read through this guy's tweets. He's posting some interesting stuff. Oil still going lower. ES is dead flat. NASDAQ dead flat. RTY is top wicking. The Dow rolling over aggressively. So keep an eye on the Dow rolling down here. The S&P is about 50-50 red-green. Half the X's are red, half the X's are green, half the tech is red, half the tech is green. Yields are mixed. Just a very mixed day across everything. All metrics are mixed. TLT is down, although if you look at TLT, it does appear that they want to go lower before they want to go back up. 85.71 into the 85 support. This looks like an absorption for a possible little move down for another opportunity to buy more into the 83s. All these shorts have been fueling the moves higher. Probably. Man, what a boring day. I know Mojo's making money today. He's about the only one. Okay. Bitcoin's ripping. Yep, Bitcoin is ripping. Big time. What did they hit, 120,000? It's crazy. And then somebody posted the for all intents and purposes, the well-known, or the global perceived owner of Bitcoin, and said that he's most likely dead, never taken a withdrawal, soon to be one of the most richest men in the world, whoever owns it. Or in jail. Yeah. Well, this is disgusting. But kind of anticipated it, man. With the news we have today, I'm just going to wait for a volume spike. Volume liquidity right now is up to 6,300 at the S&P, the same place it was all last week. Let's go take a look at the options positioning right now. We have 60,290 up to 6,300. That's where all the short calls are for the day. Hero indicator shows 550 million in calls. I'm sorry, in puts, and 160 million in calls. Very light book. Very, very light book. Remember, we have CPI tomorrow. We have Vixpiration Wednesday. We have OPEX on Friday. And nothing else. Very, very weak week, except for those. Weak week or week week? Week week, as in a week week. As in this week will be weak. Oh, man. Anybody have any active trades on? What are they doing? YM is still coming off here. After today, I should be 75K funded since I've gotten used to the evening desktop trade life. Would you suggest I try Quantower? Small. I enjoy Quantower. Now that will not only limit, but completely take away your ability to, well, that's not necessarily the case. I believe you could download Rhythmic Trader onto your phone. I believe they have an app. Correct me if I'm wrong. It would be cumbersome, but if you want to take a trade, I think you could do it on Rhythmic Trader, which has an app. However, Quantower themselves does not have an app, so you will be only restricted to your desktop. Small position with copy trading seems very appealing from a psych perspective. Never used it before, but my evening trades are typically most profitable on a desktop. That's up to you, man. I will tell you this: if you've never copy traded before, I would not encourage you to do it. Not until you have if you, let's say you've got 500 accounts. I would recommend you build the buffer on those 500 accounts before you do any kind of copy trading, because blowing up 5 or 10 or however 20 different accounts because of one or couple of bad trades sucks. It's terrible. So as great as copy trading is for your profits, it's as equally destructive as on your losses. So that's what I'd recommend. This is crypto week too. Might take some wind out of the stock market sales, possibly. Yeah, Quantower is great. I love Quantower. It's good stuff. The new accounts I'm on TPT, I'm putting on Quantower. But I do very, very little phone trading, if any at all. So basically achieve the eval on one phone. Yep. That's what I'd recommend. Plus, I mean, if you've got 5 accounts and you have a bad day on one of them, you still have some opportunity on the others too, as long as there's a setup, of course. But yeah, I definitely do not recommend doing copy trading until you have an established buffer in the accounts. $6,300 liquidity. Moving off crap step X into Wobback was amazing. No more mobile trading, excessive time of the charts. Beautiful. Love it. Here into there. Yeah, boring. Yeah, it's just terrible price action. It's just terrible. I haven't taken a single trade, dude. Not to mention I'm freaking exhausted. 62.95. Palantir puts. There you go. NASDAQ is still stuck 22.932. What's the VIX doing here? I am going to start to expect to see in the upcoming days, not necessarily today, green moves on the VIX alongside green moves on the indexes. It's going to start doing counterintuitive to what you normally expect to see on the VIX. And that's because when the VIX starts to base out, which it obviously has been, lower 17s, upper 16s has been the base now for a number of years. When it starts to do that, that is an indication that the VIX is bottomed out, that we're nearing a short-term correction, which I think we are nearing. Most likely this week it'll kick off. If not this week, it'll be next week. However, I do think the closer we get to the end of the week, the better the chances are for a 60 to 90 day swing put. Probably a PDS, could be just a regular straight put. Hold it until about mid-August, mid to late August, and go from there. Hanging out with neighbors and 15 kids 2 days in a row. Nice KR, yeah. I'm also starting to sit on my hands a lot more lately and take way less trades. Waiting for the 3-step rule is helping tremendously. It's less exciting. Better on my stress levels. Beautiful, Hal. That's the way to do it, baby. Less is more. Less is more. It's just not a talking point, man. Less is more. It shows how much better the true setups are. Well, it shows you how good of a trader you can become if you become a sniper like that, and how less stressful trading can be. It's not very impressive to see 56 trades with $1,000 in profit. What's the R&R on 56 trades for $1,000? You're taking way too much risk for very little return at that point. It's much more impressive to have one trade for $300 than 50 trades for $1,000. It's the return per trade that shows how quality the setups you're taking. And it's way less stressful. Way less stressful. Is Tesla a good short today? Let's take a look. They are rejecting the retest level. So this support at 318 was my level to breach on the downside. They breached it. They plummeted down to 290 twice. Now they're retesting it. If they close with this top wick, then yeah, it will be a short position today and going on to the week or so. If there's one thing that saved my butt by following the system consistently, it's very minimal realized losses, even on some bad trades. That is the whole point, bro. That is the whole point. It's not about how much you win, it's how little you lose. Part of the 4 kind of trades, which, by the way, podcast coming out today, talking about that very thing. New podcast episode. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Love it. Love it. I got a good chuckle out of making that. Whole lot of nothing. Yep. Whole bunch of nothing. Liquidity is 6,300. 6,300. What's up, Corey? Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you for consistently respecting or supporting the community. I guess respecting it too, but supporting the community. Always here. Good stuff. Hero indicator right now shows 630 million puts, 200 million calls. So increasing puts, also increasing some calls though. Coming up to the highs. Could you refresh me on what you use spot gamma book first for? Yeah. Yeah, so right now bookmap is what I use for order flow. Order flow is just the way I used to track the book, which I think every single person in here should be tracking the book at some point. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to use bookmap. I like bookmap because it's visual, it's easy, it's clear, takes away all my thinking. But it's the way that I use to track the order book. Where are the orders? Higher, lower, skews up and down, whatever. Spot gamma is what I use for options data. Now there's two different ways that I have used in the past. Well, three different ways I suppose to track options data. It's Trady Ticks and Spot Gamma. Trady Ticks is very clean. There's not a lot of data or not a lot of information. It's just data. Here's the options data. Here's the flow. Period. Spot Gamma does a great job of putting in data and information, founder's notes, translation, what all this means, what do I expect the market to do, plus all of the data. It's very cool, very clean. If you want to learn options data, Spot Gamma to me is the way to go. However, if you know what you're looking for and you're educated, you can use just the basic option chain to do all of it. You don't necessarily need all of the tools. I mean, in my opinion, you don't need any tools to trade. Nothing. All you need is price action and volume. A clean chart with no indicators, volume and price, period. You can't run if you don't know how to walk yet, in my opinion. So, with that in mind, these tools can help you once you're educated on support, resistance, volume, price action, etc. Am I still long TLT? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I will remain long TLT for years. I will continue to buy TLT into the lower 70s, upper 60s. Ever notice how Anna Culling posts a lot of VPA setups in the 1 minute? Yeah, she trades lower time frames. Her husband trades the 15-second chart. When was your last loss? Sounds like you're killing it. I took losses last week. But I am doing very well. But however, I've taken less than 20 trades in the past 3 weeks. Like I'm telling you, I'm trading very, very little right now. Only at high quality setups. And they're all leading to high quality returns. I mean, I've taken a lot of payouts. I mean, I'm doing very well right now, but it's because I refuse to engage in slow, low volume chop. I'm only trading at the levels that I post here. I'm only trading at the very outlier moves of the market. I don't care about these little back and forth crap. I don't care about them. So, if you want to trade more, then there's some opportunity to find here, but I'm looking at the outlier stuff. Plus, this is my summertime. I'm on vacation right now. I'm not here to trade 50 times a day. I'm here to trade 1 time a day. It's really not that difficult to put on high win rates if you're trading this little. It's not that difficult. Let me look at NASDAQ right now. Look what happened last week. Go to NASDAQ. Look at all, I mean, look at this. We plotted every one of these pivots. I mean, pivot off the prior lows. Pivot here off the prior lows. Pivot here off the prior lows. Pivot here off the prior. I mean, every single time the market moved lower, it bounced at or around a prior low. And then as long as you don't be a jabroni and short the lows, everyone should have made money last week. Just waiting for the buy the dips on the NASDAQ or the S&P. Buy the dip, period. I took one short last week. That was the big breakdown in the morning, which was the three candle criteria. And as long as you follow the three candle criteria, boom, right there. That was a beautiful trade on Wednesday. And then we bought the dip on Thursday off of the prior touch. In this market, do not play continuation. You don't short the lows. You don't buy the highs. You do the reverse until the market breaks out, at which point you monitor volume. If I could disable your short button, I think most of you would do a lot better. Oh my gosh. Can't wait to go on vacation a little for 3 weeks. Where are you going? Gabagooli? You mean your staycation? Yeah. That's why, man, if you're doing prop firms, like, I highly encourage you to do TakeProfitTrader. It's the reason why I affiliated with them. It's the reason why I'm trading on them and look to exclusively trade on them. It's because why would you not want daily payouts? It's going to reduce your emotions. Instead of trying to gun for the 5-day, targets or the 7-day targets, literally you have a good day, you pull out a couple $100. The next day you have a good day, you pull out $100. The next day you have a good day, you pull out a little bit. Like that, and to me that's the way prop firms should be. Daily payouts. That's the closest thing to a real brokerage account that you can get. Trade day also has same-day payouts, but they have an absurd 10-day eval phase. Yeah, that's a little atrocious. Oh man. All right, here's 6,300. There's what all the liquidity on Bookmap was. That was the skew. So, ranking TPT trade divide top step. Beautiful. My connection reset, and I got back on. The first thing I heard was pull. Oh my gosh, y'all are killing me. Me and the finance fiance, probably the same thing, are going to PCB for a week. I think net out of pocket the condo cost us $450 for the week since we had travel credits and the miles we used. Beautiful. Beautiful. We have a couple of exciting vacations coming up, man. Of course, we're doing our annual Vail trip, hopefully biannual. We're actually going to Alaska next year. I don't know why I would visit my own town that I already live in, but hey, that's what we're doing. We're weird. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Hopefully, we want to go to Vail in the next summer, too. I want to take the kids mountain biking in Vail next summer, which I've heard is better than skiing. But we'll see. I've been focusing on major pivot points and morning ranges, taking what the market gives. Yep. The way I want to approach trading and the way I'm trying to tell you all to trade is that if the probabilities are stacked against you, if the stats say that 90+% of retail traders are unprofitable, why wouldn't you want to do something different? Which means trade less, trade only high quality pivots. Why not make this thing easy? You know, the trading doesn't have to be difficult. Why not just make it easy? Why not just wait for the major low pivots and the major high pivots with volume? 3 criteria, boom, that's it. You take 1 to 5 to 10 trades a week max, and you're done. You don't have to sit there and keep glued to the charts all day. That's all you got to do. Let's see here. Is TikTok still a thing nowadays? I heard they were abandoning that thing. TikTok calls all the juicy conspiracy theories. Nice. If we break this level on gold, it'll be fun. Yeah, they tested it again and bounced off of it right here at 10 o'clock. $6,300 remains liquid. We have 800 million in calls, 400 million in puts. So the calls are back on the level here. I knew gold would sell off that entire green bounce at negative delta. Beautiful. Thoughts on Epstein files? I'm trying to keep all the political crap out. It's nonsense. I'll leave it at that. Oh man. Top wicks. Topic back over. I heard a theory that he makes some deals with people. Yeah, I heard a lot of stuff. Top wick back over. We have more red off of that imbalance fill at 62.96 and on NASDAQ into the 980 area. Platinum is still selling. YM is still selling. RTY is still selling. Oil is selling. Gold bounced but was selling. VIX is still 1724. Wootloot, you were posting in the wrong channel, bruh. You were posting in the events, the news channel. 62.88 still coming off here on ES. Almost caught the entire gold bounce. Nice, Magabagouli. The VIX is still coming up from 1720. Remember, VIX breaks on Wednesday. How much you want to bet VIX goes green into on Wednesday? Got premium for Black Friday. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. All right, so what do we have here for the 3 criteria? Do we have any 3 criteria? We have top wick. We have this move up. We have the top wick. We have a lower close. We do not have volume, though. At least not on the 5-minute. On the 15-minute, on NASDAQ, we do have a little bit of 3 criteria. Top wick, volume, lower close. Undershort is 958. And you just continue to play that. As long as we get the lower low, we could play down to the morning low of 841. Obviously, things are tight. The Federal Reserve should be independent, White House advisor says. The more I see a lot about this Fed chat, I would be careful and start to anticipate some shaking and baking with the Fed coming up. More in lines of ousting J Powell. Which will shake the market big time. Missed that move by 1 tick. Let's see if it retests 6,300. Yeah. Silver still going down. Silver looking at this base of 38.30. Platinum still getting wrecked into our range. So the break under right here would have been beautiful. If you're following overnight trades, of course, on Platinum, this break lower right here would have been beautiful. Got to front run those even levels. Yeah, buddy. Took a trade top in a wick to 50% retrace. That's how you do it. And that's it. Do you think I should wait for more this low volume type of trade? Do you think I should wait more for this low volume type of trade? The 50% top wick, and bottom wick for that matter, they have some consistency to them. Yeah. Of course, that wouldn't be as, I mean, I'm never going to say no to a good setup. What the caveat is confidence. To me, the max amount of confidence comes at higher level pivots with the 3 criteria. That's where confidence is pretty much at its highest. Anything else, like pattern trading, um, the retracements on Fibonacci, like all that stuff, you can still trade off of them, but the confidence has got to come down. That's my opinion. To attest to what you've been saying a bit more about time frames, the past 2 weeks, every trade I've taken the first 30 minutes of the day has been about losses, but every trade I've taken after 10 a.m. has been win. 100%, man. My P&L would be much higher if I wasn't trying to get my losses back in the morning. I can't stress enough, man. Yes, sometimes you can catch a massive win in the first 15, 30 minutes because it's momentum and it's straight runs. But if you cut that period out, your stress will go down, your accuracy will go up. I mean, I can't stress it enough. Cut out the first 15 minutes at least, if not the full first 30 minutes. Your life will change, baby. My goal is to make you profitable, to make you thinking clearly. Thinking clearly. I get the confluence of volume plus price action time for equals confidence. Yep, confidence. Thoughts on trading PM? I live in UK. Market doesn't open until 2:30 for me. You're talking about like the afternoon New York session? Pre-market. I have no problem you trading pre-market. If that's all you can do, that's all you can do. But the way I attack pre-market, I don't touch pre-market. I don't care what the signals are. I do not touch pre-market unless the market is coming up on a major pivot. The market still respects levels in overnight trading, but I don't mess with it because if I get caught in a trade, that's my personal preference. If I get caught in a trade, the price action moves so slow that I end up having to baby the trade for way too long. So I only put on trades if they are at major pivots. So if I suspect the market is climbing up to like a monthly high or monthly low, weekly high, weekly low in the pre-market, then I'll either set limits on there with the associated stops or I'll watch it. I mean, I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning every day anyway. So I have no problem with that. In fact, pre-market trading can actually be quite nice because you set those limits, you get filled to those major levels, you wake up, and you've already hit your daily goal, while you're sleeping. And if you stopped out, you're stopped out, whatever. Sometimes you execute and stop out before you can wake up. That's happened too. But that's the way I support it. Now, it's 2:30. The market opens at 2:30 your time. I don't know, what your lifestyle is over there. But you could also trade the afternoon your New York session. Or just pivot out of nowhere. Yep, that's exactly why. Because the overnight session like that it'll pivot out of nowhere. It'll do stuff like that because it's so light volume that it's very easy to pivot the price action. So y'all know I do time frames. Obviously, the morning time frame I usually sign off about noon Eastern, and that's about it. Between 11:30 and noon Eastern, and I won't touch any of the trades. It does pick back up. So after about 2 p.m. Eastern time, you could begin to kind of re-enter the market and see if there's any opportunity. So that 2 p.m. to like 3:30 p.m. time frame is where you could start to reapply some trades and see if there's any opportunity. That's where the closing volume, the closing momentum starts to hit the tape. And that's where I'd recommend if you want to trade the afternoon, that's where you start. All in all, I highly recommend stay away from the market between noon and about 3 o'clock Eastern. 2 o'clock Eastern, I would say. That little 2.5 hour window is just absolute garbage. Stay away from it. Don't even waste your time. Yeah, 11 to 2. Don't even waste your time. The 10% probability that we actually get a decent move in that time frame is not worth the 90% of the time. It's just wiki and back and forth and garbage. You're going to give back profits. You're going to stress yourself out. You're going to waste a lot of time. Here's, I just saw a post on Twitter. In 4 hours, I just completed 80% of a project that my manager would say would take till next fall. What should I do? Hand the project in early or sit on it for 6 months? Oh my gosh. AI is nuts, man. What about the other names outside of those times? To me, that's the way I do it, because I mean, we're trying to find the curtails of the institutional big traders. I don't care about retail. I care about the big traders, the big money. And the big money is just not participation in the middle of the day. You're going to get caught up with the high frequency traders, not scalpers, high frequency traders. High frequency traders are the traders that are not, they're not actually trading. Their computer algorithms are trading 200 to 300 times a day, and they're only going for 2 to 3 ticks at a time, maybe a little bit more. Those who you are competing against in the middle of the day. So I'm hands off, at 100% hands off in the middle of the day. Now, in terms of outside of New York session, you're talking about other names. Yeah, like gold's a great one. Pick any name that has volume, which is going to be the top 5 to 8 futures products, which is silver, gold, platinum, oil, CL, 100%. Which, by the way, also, if you are a Propfirm trader on a company that does not allow you to hold trades after a certain time, be careful trading oil and gold and these other names late in the day, because you'll get caught in the trade and you'll blow the account because you won't be able to close it. Top wick 62.92. I've tried to open just one long on 0D Strangle and SPY at 2 p.m. and close at 2:30. Either break even, lose less, or win something. It's just for an experiment. Nice, Krish. I get burned every time I trade after hours. Just need to discipline myself to wait for the setup. Yep. If you follow the pivots that we talk about here, I'm telling you, like it's going to turn you into a sniper. It'll make you excited and giddy when you see these big pivots approaching. And then, if you do want to trade overnight, all of a sudden it becomes pretty clear. You just wait until these big pivots, the decisions are made for you. So you don't approach the market. You don't approach the market every day guessing and hoping and kind of uncertain. You approach the market every day like a farmer looking at his field of wheat. All you got to do is go harvest it. The bags are packed. Tickets are purchased. It's time to go home. Are those pivots posted somewhere in here? I mean, I'm just talking about the generality, the general concept of pivots is what we talk about here. And when I do find them, I post them in the signals channel. But anything, it's simple stuff. It's not rocket surgery. ES, NASDAQ, ART. I mean, just pick any name and just zoom out to the 240-minute chart at least, if not higher, and look for any major pivots. Weekly highs, weekly lows. Monthly high, monthly lows. Big liquidity reversals. It doesn't even have to be a monthly low. Just look for a spot that the market has reversed aggressively with very high volume, and you play off of that. When you say the pivots we talk about here, you talk about the macro pivots that you post. Yeah, just the general concept of pivots. Yeah, just that's what I'm trying to teach you all is the VPA 3 criteria at major pivots. Now everything else you can still trade at minor pivots. You can still trade it, the overnight low or the daily low. So if we come down to this overnight low or the daily low area, for example, right here, then I'm going to look to play the bounce of it. Now this is not a macro pivot. This is not a major pivot that I would put on, 3 to 5 ES contracts, but I would trade it. That's a minor pivot because we have liquidity sweeps and it's the morning low, which is a great level. The morning low, the morning high. So everything else, that's the low confidence scalping stuff. The big stuff that I want y'all to really execute on, which fits into the big win category of the four trading categories. Everything the major pivots, that's what you're going to get the big wins. So the daily chart. So like the day we sell back off and touch this area, wherever it may be, that's going to be a major long. Coming down and test this area, major long. Coming down and test this area, that's going to be a major long. All that stuff. I could 100% guarantee you this when we come down and test this level, we will bounce off of it one time at least. Now, I don't know how far, I don't know how long, but I guarantee you, which is a very difficult word to use in trading, I guarantee you we will bounce off this level at least once. So if we're coming down in this area, instead of thinking about shorting, or if you're already in short, why don't you hold it instead? Just play a long off at D808, set a stop, see how much you get. Now, that doesn't mean don't short anything and wait until this long area, but in addition to whatever thesis you come down here, you have to be aware of the fact that 5808 is approaching. That's a prior liquidity zone, and simply long off of it or reduce your exposure off of it. And then, of course, you have down here at 5962, which is this big level here. You could play off of that. But that's the stuff I'm talking about. That's where you make your money. That's where you make your quarters. And then coming into the individual stuff, yeah, you could play this, you could scalp this, but this is where position sizing is smaller because your data set is smaller. I don't have enough data to pull off of here to put on major positioning size. I'm not going to risk 10 minis here because I only have a couple of hours worth of data. So if we come down to the morning low, which is what I love, these red bars are the morning high, morning low, then I'll play long off of it, but with small position size. One mini, maybe two if I'm feeling frisky. So, and then I tweeted this on, when did I tweet this? A couple of days ago. So I tweeted this on July 11th, Friday I think it was, which is very, it's a very good comment. It's something that I want all of you to take into consideration, is that there should be a different risk engagement at different levels of the market. You should not always be putting on the same position size for every trade. There should be a fluctuation to account for risk. The higher the probability, the higher position size, and vice versa. The lower the probability, the lower the position size. And everyone's already bounced. No one wants to trade this crap. $30 billion Bitcoin. Terrible stuff. Terrible stuff. Call me Anna Colling with the 1 minute VPA scalps. Oh, 6,300 still remains in liquidity. NASDAQ, 23,000. NASDAQ looking more bullish. He's struggling not to make a lower high, lower low. Yep, NASDAQ's coming up to the top. 3 to 5 point gold in a couple of minutes. There you go. Yeah. Gold still coming off here. Just smoked that range. Support resistance test here. Failed. Yeah, so Bookmap is doing that thing again where it doesn't show up on my stream. That's why I've got it muted. That's all it shows up as. So occasionally it does that, and I don't know how to fix it. So if NASDAQ does take this area out, obviously you've got some nice pivots to work off of. So if you look here, hold on a second. Yeah, if you look, the next pivot here is going to be Friday's highs, which is about 23,020. You take that out, there's a whole stair step of pivots here that are pretty obvious to plot. Nothing's crazy. And then of course you've got this dog right here. So the market NASDAQ spent 3 days just stair stepping down. Boom, 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 boom. We also have a little bit of a little trend line coming along here that we're currently dealing with now. Right there. So we do have a little bit of resistance here that if we clear, we'll just come on to the next target and watch what happens at 2302. I could probably guess that they're going to top wick off of that, at least some degree. And then after that, 43, and then we start eating all this stuff up. And then, of course, we have weekly highs, which is aggressively maintained. Right now, 23 to 0 to 23,015, which is all the Bookmap liquidity, all to the high side. The options data right now is showing, oh, that's interesting, 630 million in calls and 1.2 billion in puts. They are rolling into puts here. Rolling into puts. For those who have asked, the end of day drawdown, TakeProfitTrader just posted this. For those who've asked, the end of day drawdown in pro accounts is a program change, so it's going to continue even after they get rid of the promotion. So for now, you can still get 40% off any account, plus you have 0 activation fee on your funded account forever. I'm telling you, man, TPT is going to take over Top Step eventually with these rules. Does Take Profit use Rhythmic? You can do Rhythmic or Tradevate. I just learned about FVG. Can you talk on that? Well, FVG fair value gaps, that is a derivative of ICT's training, which is a bunch of nonsense. It's all stuff that has been around since the beginning of time, but ICT has taken it, ripped the packaging off, put on his own packaging, and sold it again. So all it is imbalances. Fair value gaps, that's all he says, are just order book imbalances. That's all it is. It's all the same stuff. So when you're looking for these moves, you look for the market begins to trend from a place of consolidation. The more aggressive you move away from them, the more aggressive the gap. And the more aggressively you can play the move once it fills back over. Do you like the 75? I personally have a 75. I am going to do the 150s when I do the 5 accounts. Just because I play things small and tight. Once I pass them, it pretty much guarantees that I'll at least get a couple enough payouts before I do anything stupid. My renewal coming up on Friday. How would I go about supporting you? Cancel it and reuse your code? If you didn't use your code, then yeah, that would be the only way to support me. Yep. Is to cancel that and just re-up it with my code of OMTPT. Yep. Appreciate that, though. The process of hitting the bid and lifting the ask, would that be someone who wants out of a certain price and showing aggressive selling? But lifting the ask is someone who wants in now. Yep. So lifting the ask is the more aggressive that concept is, the more bullish the price action is. And bullish continuation. 100%. Yep. If you have an aggressive amount of people trying to take the bid, then yeah, they're accepting the lowest price they can to get out of the position. That's called that's showing desperation. I find Rhythmic isn't that great, especially when volatility gets squirrely. Well, even IBKR gets a little squirrely when volatility hits. That's just the nature of being a retail trader. Unless you're paying for a very high quality order book, an exchange, that's the way it's going to be. Period. Trade of 8's terrible with volatility. Top Step X is terrible with volatility. Rhythmic is terrible at trade of it with it. But IBKR is terrible with volatility. But unless you want to pay about $20,000 a year, that's the way it's going to be. Do you know what you get? What your code gets off a 150 account? It's 40% off. Plus you get free funded account. So that's like, again, that's one of the great things. Or you could use my affiliate link too. That's one of the beautiful things about the TPT. Yeah, it's 40% off. 40%. That's one of the beautiful things. Yeah, it's a free funded. So the thing about this is that it's the low cost of entry. So you pay the 40% off, whichever, depending on whatever account you want to take. But that's it. That's all you pay. Period. So you pay the fee for the evaluation. It's 40% off every single month for life, even if you reset. It's free. It's a free funded account for life. So you only pay the eval. All right. You pass the account. Now it's time to go get funded. So you go sign in. You go to hit the activation button, and you are applied a credit. So literally, it's free to do the funded. So literally, you could pay like $100 or whatever whatever eval you want to do. You get funded. You take a payout. Boom. That's it. Like that. It's literally the lowest cost of entry I've found for any prop, especially if you're doing daily payouts. It's fantastic. Why do you think I affiliated with them? Because like, heck, this is great. I didn't even know they offered daily payouts, and once I saw it, I'm doing it. Because if I could sit there and trade a prop and just pull out money on the daily, that's as closest thing to a real account that you can get. Sorry, I'm thinking it's 40% off every month, but when I pass, it's free. Correct. So once you pass the evaluation, that's it. There's no more cost. Like, you're not getting charged an evaluation every month. That shuts down. You activate your funded account, which is free. With this promotion, now it's free. I thought it was only free on the Pro. But that's that's the promotion right now. The funded account is free. Yeah. By the way, NASDAQ is breaking out right into Friday's highs. And they're doing away with the trailing drawdown, which is great. So what did I say? I can guarantee you they wick off of these levels that I give you. Guarantee. I just can't guarantee how much or how far. And look at that. They tapped this Friday's highs, and boom, right there, 20 points on NASDAQ. Is it a lot? No. Can it be a lot? Yeah. I mean, that's the whole point of all this stuff, man. Just find where the market wants to pivot and exploit it. Conditions. These cheap accounts seem cheap, and they hit you with the activation fee, so it all ends up in the same. That's what I'm saying. That's great. Yeah, I mean, if you go look at Top Step right now, and you buy the max account with the 150 account, you're going to pay 160, 150 bucks for the eval. You're going to pass it. You're going to pay another $160 for the funded. So now you're $300 and something in. Whereas on TPT, you pay whatever it is, $100 or so, and that's it. Done. And now you can go start drawing money out every day. Boom. Boom, every day. Pull money out. Pull money out. It's in your account within 24 hours. They are getting rid of the trailing drawdown, it appears. That's going to be a permanent change on the Pro accounts. That's what it appears. I've been trading tiny plays within the first 15 minutes. Works like a nicotine patch. Then I put on real trades. I'm okay with that. Lower position sizing way down on the first 15 minutes if you want to do it. I'm okay with that. Like a micro or two. Yeah. Was it Pro Plus? It could be. Let me go read it before I don't want to be telling you all the wrong crap here. Yes, it is Pro Plus accounts. That's correct. So it's still in the Pro accounts, but the Pro Plus is gone. The live accounts, once you get taken to the live. I apologize. I was misspoken. I have 20,048 as Friday's highs. That is incorrect. According to my stuff, that is incorrect. Friday, July 11th, the high was 23,021. Are they pretty strict on the rules? Nope, not at all. Literally, I've taken 5 payouts now. Not a single question, not a single holdup. Literally. Of course, I trade pretty conservatively. I don't do anything crazy for them to question me on. So maybe if you're a risky trader, maybe. If you're like full porting 15 minis every time, and maybe they might question. I don't know. But for me, like no questions asked, instant payouts, instant like I'll submit the payout instantly within an hour. They'll approve it and it's in my account. So yeah, trust me, I would not push anything on you all that was like that. Heck, I could go right now and sign up for an Apex link and probably make some pretty decent money on affiliates with that. But it's crap. It's nonsense. I tried Apex. It's complete garbage. There's also some quirky rules about trading big events, CPI, which I think are good, though. I think that's a good thing. It's 1 minute before and 1 minute after the events you can't trade, which I think is good. You shouldn't be trading those anyway. Now, Math just said, except leaving on trades, don't forget to close out positions. 100%. Now, with all prop firms, every single prop firm out there, I don't care what it is, what I recommend you do is open up a folder on your desktop, and every single day you flatten your accounts, you take a screenshot of your open working orders and your current profit and loss in open profit and loss. Screenshot it, save it to the folder every single day when you sign off the computer. The great thing about Quantower is that you could bring up your own dedicated little block that says working orders. So any open order on the book, it doesn't matter which account or which name you've got it on, it shows your working orders, which means orders that are not filled yet. So I screenshot that block, save it to a folder every single day. Do it with any prop you have, doesn't matter. Top Step X, doesn't matter. So if they ever do some weird, crazy stuff that, have some random order filled, you copy it. $147 month, but I'll charge me that in pounds. It should be 11. Yeah, so whatever 147 times 40%. I don't know which one you're doing in pounds, but if you happen to have a limit order on and forget to take off the order, will they close your account? If it's the order, no. It has to be an actual position. You can't hold any positions. I think it's till 5 p.m. Eastern, I think, is the time frame. You can't hold any positions until 5 p.m. The orders don't matter. It's just but what I'm saying is, like, I don't want to leave an open order on or an open position on and it'd be filled. Like, maybe I shut down the computer, I go off for the day, and something get filled. All right, gold right now. Yeah, gold just bounced. Yeah, nice. Suppose you're $5,000 in the green on a funded account. Is the trailing drawdown still? Nope. So it stops at break even. Because it's an end of day trailing drawdown. Yeah, so look. The trailing drawdown is the account balance will trail the account balance as it goes higher. If you make $1,000 your first day of trading, your balance will be $26,000, and your minimum trading account will move up $1,000 from what you made. It stops once you get over the break even. So you basically have to buy up your drawdown. The intraday trading, yeah. The difference is because people have compared it to Apex. The difference is Apex is unrealized gains. So if you open up a position, the position makes 1,000, but then you leave it on and it just drops back down to like a negative position. It is now already calculated that high position, so it's absolutely predatory. It's disgusting. It's nonsense. But this is actually closed positions, end of day trailing drawdown, which is not, again, it's not optimum. That is, in my opinion, a worse feature than Top Step. I don't like it, but as long as you trade position sizing and you're consistent, that to me the benefits outweigh the cons in that case. Once you buy up your drawdown, it's a moot point. Doesn't matter. Would you recommend a Propfirm over trading your own account? I would not. I would not. Unless you just don't have any money. If you don't have any capital in an account, then yeah, do it. I would recommend it. Are there good prop firms for trading stocks? Not retail prop firms. What do you mean by buying up your drawdown? Okay, so let's say you buy an account that's got a $2,500 drawdown, which is the 75K account drawdown. So that means if you hit the 2,500 account loss, you blow up the account. So what I want you to do is make $2,500 in profits, and leave that in your account as a buffer, because that means that no matter what, you'll be safe as long as you maintain that profit margin. So your goal should not be make money or just to take a payout to start out with. Your goal should be buy up your drawdown. Then your profits start. So if you make $2,500 the first day one of trading, in my opinion, leave that in there. Then you start your profits over $2,500. I would apply that to any Propfirm account. So yeah, I would not recommend trading prop firms if you've already got a bunch of money in your own account. I would also not recommend trading prop firms long term once you pull out money. Once you're profitable and you're pulling money out, I would take all that money, put it into a brokerage account, and trade your own stupid money, your own freaking money, and be done with prop firms, because the taxes are absolutely terrible on them. They're absolutely terrible. You're going to get smoked, and you're going to shoot yourself. If you're a good trader, you're going to pump yourself into the next tax bracket, which you're just going to give the government more money. So if you can get to the point where you're pulling 10,000 out, 20,000, 50,000 out, put it into your brokerage account, stop trading the prop firm. In my humble opinion. Do you have to pay tax on it if it goes straight to your broker? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Because they cut a 1099 on you the second you pull the money out. So at the end of the year, you get a statement from whoever with your payments. Dramatic pause, yeah. So NASDAQ appears it's going to take out the 2302, go to 23046. You're welcome, Dr. Zay. I've been trading my own account. Seemed like a better option, but I've been hearing so much talk about prop firms and copy trading. Yeah, I mean, copy trading is nice, don't get me wrong. If you've got a system and you could trade 5 accounts and make $200 a day on 5 accounts, and beat the odds, that's the key there, then yeah, it's nice. I'm not going to lie. It's nice. But I mean, it's all about controlling your inputs, whatever you can control. Me, the reason why I do all of this, the reason why I have multiple sources of income, the reason why I trade, is all because of freedom. I want to be able to do what I want when I want, and that includes trading as well. So the prop firms, the biggest con out of all the prop firms to me, which is downside, not con isn't scam. The downside is the rules. And obviously IBKR, there is no rules. It's the Wild West. You do whatever you want. So that to me is more attractive than anything else. So that's the end goal, is to pump everything I can into my IBKR. That way I could, sell covered calls, buy, sell cash secured puts. TLT, buy as much TLT as I want. That's the whole thing. Trade PL, because you can't trade PL on prop firms. The pro account is sim, yeah. You don't just like Top Step. You get funded on the Express account on Top Step. It's sim. You don't go into a real order book until you're on the live account. All right. Man, now I have to struggle with the idea of, do I sell? No, I don't want to do that. Do I buy puts before CPI or after CPI with this little green move? Probably after. It means that if you don't take profit like a boss, they shut you down like a loser. Yes, sir. Absolutely right. Trump says they're going to impart severe tariffs on Russia if they don't come to a deal in 50 days. CPI is tomorrow. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look, Friday's highs. That's where we're wicking off of. There you go. I teach very easy stuff here. Very easy stuff. 3 criteria after that. What else y'all got? We're going to start wrapping it up here soon. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Anything else I can do for you? Am I doing a strangle for CPI? No, I'm not. That plays over with. I wish we could, but do we go down for low of day for SPX? It's possible. The day before, the afternoon going into the CPI, we can get some crazy moves. Just kind of preparation. That's where people start posting the, oh, CPI leaked comments. So it's very possible. I don't know. Right now, My whole thesis is that CPI will post a low number. It'll come in cold. The inflation's going down. And the market will respond to that bullishness to start out the week with a bearish move into the close of the week. That's what I'm going to play. That's the way I'm going to approach it. So, I could expect a green move. I could even see a low of the day here. It's possible. I don't know. There's a couple of ways to kind of go about doing this if you want to think about it. Is they could dump it to get calls nice and cheap for the CPI move tomorrow. They could rally it, pop it into CPI even further, and then dump it after CPI. I mean, there's a couple of ways. That's why I don't like to play that stuff. That's why I stick to the VPA. Now, what do we have here on NASDAQ on the 5-minute? High volume influx into the Friday's highs. We have top wicks. So we have so far 2 of the 3 criteria for a short position. What's the third one? Third criteria is lower low, which we need roughly, 22,980. At which point you could sell back over, which is also the morning high. If you get back under the morning high, that increases the possibility of a low of the day touch. But think about all the crap. Think about all the crap you could find on Twitter or YouTube about trading and all the nonsense and calculations and overcomplicated fancy jargon. If I could present you a setup that all you had to do was wait for a prior high or prior low and buy or shell a short with a couple of rules based, that are like the 3 criteria, isn't that more attractive? Something very simple that you could teach to a 10-year-old? Because that's all trading is. Wait for the 3 criteria with volume-based analytics at high probability areas, period. It's the patience you can't teach, 100%, yeah. The patience. Why do you think I keep the cheerleading and grandstanding and dollar posting out of the server? Because I know when you see that crap, it's very difficult not to FOMO in. When you see other people making money, allegedly, it's very difficult to shut off that FOMO part of the brain. And it's not a good business model to have you all blowing up accounts left and right. I won't be here for very long if all of my members got smoked every day. Top wick. Smoke is bad, okay? 5 minutos. We're going to call it a day. I have to go to 84 Lumber to get wood for a chicken coop. Egg prices hurting you? They are. They are. Trust me, my 15-year-old is 6'2". My 11-year-old is almost as tall as I am. And they eat like nobody's business. And now that, of course, my 15-year-old is into weightlifting and stuff like that and getting gigantic, we have to eat a lot of protein. So I'm like, all right, well, how about we just get 25 chickens and go nuts? I have about 8 days of trading more to see if I'll have a new batch of chickens. Of waiting. Nice, math. Very cool. $12 chickens. Beautiful. What's your biggest advice? He's 5'4" already. Yeah, he's gigantic. We have to bring his birth certificate to our Little League games because the opposing coach always asks. They think he's not actually 10 or 11. Can you give some homework for the week so it improves us as a trader? A book that I would have to read. Of course, y'all know what I'm going to say. Complete Guide to Volume Price Analysis. Second book is Trading in the Zone. Fantastic. My biggest advice for you, my biggest piece of homework I could give you all. I'll give you 2 pieces of homework. How about that, Chris? I'll give you 2. 1, spend some time before the market opens where you have absolutely zero intention of trading. Your brokerages are closed. You're not going to do any trading whatsoever. You open up a brand new chart with nothing on it except volume profile and the volume indicator at the bottom. No lines, no support resistance, no freaking EMAs, nothing. You zoom out to at least the 240-minute chart. In fact, I would do multiple time frames. The 4-hour, the daily, the weekly. You can even go down to the hourly if you want. Zoom all the way out as far as you can and look for major pivots across, 10 different names. Pick out 10 names. Major oil products or major futures products with maybe a couple of individual names, and just go plotting. Go look for high volume aggressive top wicks on the longer time frames, and then plot them. Write them down on a piece of paper, plot them in TradingView, and or set audio alerts. So when they trip, you get an alert. And watch what happens to your trading. And then you tell yourself you do not touch a trade unless one of those pivots goes off. Your second piece of homework I would give you. Create an ironclad list of rules that are non-negotiable with yourself, that you will not take a trade at all, ever, no matter what, unless it falls within the bounds of those rules. Period. Tape it to your monitor, put it in front of your face, tattoo it on the forehead of your significant other. So every time you look at their face, you can see their rules. What's up? 20 to 30 seconds on the 3 criteria. I'm taking notes. Yep, so the 3 criteria. If you're looking for a reversal or a continuation, doesn't matter. So if you're long, for example, and you're looking to either get out of your long or get into a short, you need to look for 3 criteria, which is high volume, top wick, close below a prior low. If you're looking to long, you need high volume, bottom wick, close below a prior high. Those are the 3 criteria. The 4th criteria you could put on top of that. You know that little acronym or that little thing you learn in school, A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y? Well, 3 criteria and sometimes number 4. Bonus points for location. The bigger the location of the price, which means major pivot, monthly high, monthly low, weekly low, the more confidence you can give to that trade, the more aggressive you could be on entry. But the 2 things I recommend, again, to summarize, go plotting. Go do some back testing and plot the charts. It's not called back testing, I suppose. Go back and do some plotting with high value pivots. And number 2 is create an ironclad system of rules for your trading that you are non-negotiable. You'll never break them. That way you begin to start the process of making an actionable and quantifiable system that you can hold yourself accountable for. Because right now, what happens when you lose? What happens now when you have a bad day or take a loss or blow up an account? What happens now? You're pissed off, you're in a pissy mood, you're kicking and screaming. You may blame yourself, you may blame the market, but really, what do you do from there? Part of dealing with stress and losses in anything in life, for that matter, is you have to fall back on something that's actionable and quantifiable, because the way to fight depression, the way to fight anger, the way to fight losses, the way to fight anything is to have a plan of attack, something you could put your finger on and says, this is what I'm going to do to fix it. And in trading, you can't do that unless you have ironclad rules in your system. They say that raising a kid these days costs upwards of $400K. Would you agree to that? I'd probably agree to that. Yeah. Obviously, that's different for different people. It's a struggle to make my 3-year-old eat protein, always asking for carbohydrate snacks. It's on you, man. We're kind of going through a family change right now in the household. Now that the kids are older, now they're taking fitness seriously, we are cleaning up diets left and right. And it falls. I mean, again, that's it. That's my extreme ownership mentality. Is that I'm the man. I'm the leader of the house. They look to me as a set example, so it's on me. And if I allow them to eat crap, they're going to eat crap. If I present healthy, good options and high quality living, then that's what they're going to go towards. So you just got to do it. I mean, the kid's 3. Think about it. The kid's 3. The kid can't get in a car and drive to McDonald's by himself. You have to drive that kid to McDonald's or whatever it is. I take an L and I quit trading for the day. I feel like I need to make it back. Yep. There is no need to make it back. Yep. Every time you break your rules, go put 4 plates on the bar and get under it. Love it. Love it. All right, that is 11:30. We're going to call it a day. Questions, comments, concerns? $23 chickens, beautiful. I can't complain to see that. I like it. Options update. Let's take a look. Options update. Whew, wow, what the crap? 2.6 billion in calls. 2.4 billion in calls and down to 960. That's an aggressive amount of calls. Like it went from nothing to a whole. But that's been the theme every day, man. Every day they've been absolutely piling into 0DT calls. Look at that. Every day they've been piling into 0DT calls. All right, y'all. I'm calling it. Y'all have a great rest of the day. I'll see you bright and early in the morning. We have CPI tomorrow. I won't stream CPI, but I'll be around. And, of course, we'll get the day started off right. Hope you have a good rest of the day. I'm out. See ya.